Hello and welcome to Show Love. I'm Bronwen Murphy. Right now is a time where reaching out to other people is very important and learning to switch off, which can be hard, is much needed. Both things I talk to my next guest about. Now, of course, this was recorded before we went into lockdown, and the wonderful comedian Tom Allen has recently been locked in with his mum, dad, and for company, his balloon friend Linda. Check it out on his social media. So, I am joined by Tom Allen, the talent that is.
Oh, stop it.
Do you know you're on your? I always talk about a Wikipedia page because you can always tell a lot by somebody on theirs, and it describes you as a comedian, an actor, a TV presenter, a writer.
I mean, I think that's a bit bold, isn't it? But sure, I'll take it.
Fucking take it.
Yeah.
You've worked hard for that since a young age.
Well, yes, I suppose in a way. Although I should point out, once on Wikipedia it did say I was dead.
What?
So you can't.
No, it didn't.
Which I don't think I am.
See, I shouldn't take these Wikipedia pages as. How does that happen?
I don't know, because I think anybody can add anything, can't they? People's put ridiculous things.
Oh, really? Have you ever looked at your Wikipedia page?
No, I try not to search my own name.
Have you never done that?
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it's never a good rabbit hole to go down, is it?
I don't think that anyone hates you, though. That's the thing. So I think if you look to yourself on social media,
well,
it's that you're very popular.
Am I don't know. Well, that's nice of you to say. I just hope I do a good job. That's all you can do. Just try and do a good job.
All of those multi-talented things.
Yes.
Which would you say you are most of? In those?
I suppose I would say comedian, and I like being a comedian because it allows you to be different things, and I think stand-up has been very good to me at lots of points. But I like the fact that stand-up kind of allows you to veer, and you are naturally a writer if you're a stand-up, aren't you? And you are kind of an actor because you're acting things out and you're emoting like an actor might. I mean, I don't know if that's too grand of me to say, but I like stand-up because it feels like it brings together lots of different things, and I think it's quite an honest form because it's sort of.
But you trained to be an actor first, right? And you've done movies.
I did. Well, I didn't really train. I went to the national. I was involved with the National Youth Theatre.
Yeah.
And that and I auditioned for like drama schools, and they were like, no, because I think basically when an 18-year-old with slick back hair who does a speech from a Noel Coward play followed by an excerpt from an Alan Bennett monologue walks in, they're like, I don't think we're going to be able to market you.
Isn't that what everyone wants, though? That's
maybe
like
now they
what
do.
Everyone sees as an actor. That's what I did drama at uni. And I wanted to be like that, but I was just some dumbass blonde going, hey, look at me.
But I think there's a lot of the whole acting thing. I think there's a lot of bullshit. Can we say bullshit? Around it.
Especially in Amdram.
Well, maybe too. Well, I think there's a lot of... not bullshit. There's a lot of excluding of people, and I think that's really unfair because it's just storytelling, and everyone's allowed to tell stories. And actually, like, there are great films where the acting isn't that great, and it's kind of, I don't know. It's nice to see nice actors, but sometimes I think some of those institutions are a bit snooty and a bit.
Which is awful, really, because anyone should be able to be an actor because everybody has got a story, or you need to be able to promote whatever person there is.
Well, you'd think so, right?
Yeah.
But I think I sound like I'm being very. I sound like I'm sort of being regretful or whatever, or angry about it. I think they want largely either very good-looking people or very talented people, and I was neither.
You bitter bastard. I know.
And I was just
you
sort of
are
quirky.
Very talented.
I was weird, and I think they probably were like, I don't know what we'll be able to do with it.
But don't you think you kind of find your place and many things that fail
yes.
put you onto the road
Yes,
to...
I feel.
So you then became a comedian, but how did you go from I want to be an actor to then getting up on stage and being funny?
Well, it was... I always liked the funny things anyway. I didn't really care. Like when people would be like, who's your character? How are you going to create your character? I just didn't really care. I just thought, well, how do you make something funny or sort of connecting with people? And I think there wasn't really an outlet at that point. Stand-up did exist, of course, but it was still quite blokey. Sort of older blokes doing it.
Like, what's the name? Bernard Manning? Is that
Bernard Manning was around,
that sort of guy.
Very sort of, and quite kind of...
Jim Davidson.
Jim Davidson was kind of the main one on the television.
Yeah.
And I remember when I worked as a waiter, there was coming in to do often a chat was Mike Reed.
Oh.
I thought I could never be like him, but those were comedians.
Yeah.
But I love Victoria Wood, but I didn't really know how you went about sort of emulating her career. and I didn't know how you would. I really loved her, and I loved the fact that she would write plays and films and sketches and stand-up and songs and a bit of everything. And I kind of thought, well, that's brilliant that you're allowed to do that, because I think so much of the world is like, no, what do you? You do your one thing and get good at that, and you're not allowed to do anything else. Oh, you think you're going to do that, are you? Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
And you realise that's very shaming. And actually, someone like Victoria Wood, and there are other people who've done similar things. Noel Coward, I really liked. Alan Bennett, even. They are people who do lots of things and they aren't afraid of it. And I think they sort of, or did do, I should say, but that sort of weren't hampered by their own, I don't know, insecurities, or the insecurities projected upon them, I suppose.
So when you first started, I read that you didn't really talk about, you were sort of talking about your experiences, but you hadn't sort of come out at that point.
I hadn't come out until I didn't come out until I was 21, but I
So
started doing
what were you
stand-up.
talking about? When you started your comedy, what were you talking about?
I was talking about like being, I was always different. I was always a weirdo, really.
Yeah, I was talking about being a weirdo.
Yeah, basically, I always knew.
In what way were you a weirdo?
Well, I always knew I was outside, and I always knew that I had this posh voice, which doesn't really, like, my parents have normal voices, but they're Londoners. And I always had this posh voice, and I don't know why. People goes like, well, why do you speak like that? I'm like, I don't know. But it's always been this kind of sense of like explaining that, and I don't know why.
It's fascinating,
But
though.
since I was a small child.
It's such a part of you.
Do you
And
think?
yeah, and it never, like, because obviously now I see you a lot. I mean, we were supposed to do this last night. We got too pissed. We didn't, and now we're doing it today.
And now we're doing it now.
I know. And even like out of work or hanging out with you, you still are this sort of well-bred posh boy. But I mean, it sounds like that.
I mean, it's all a front, really.
It's not though, because you don't let that go, because it's you.
Well, I think I suppose I am. I try and be true to myself, and I think, again, going back to stand-up, I think what's nice about stand-up is that it allows you to embrace your insecurities. So every other walk of life, well, not every, lots of other walks of life, you're trained to hide your insecurities, hide your failings, put on this kind of shiny armour. But I think in stand-up, and I think maybe it's a very specific type of stand-up where you're allowed to go, oh, I fell over on the way to work today, and aren't I an idiot? And people go, great!
Yeah.
Whereas if you do that, if you're a lawyer, sinister. People go, oh, you don't seem to be very together. I don't trust you.
Enough. Yeah.
So
you can just be an idiot, and people can laugh at you. Not that you see your comedy doesn't come across like that to me. Like your comedy is very clever. You're very good with words.
Oh, that's amazing.
The other funny thing about you, I'm jumping a bit all over the show, but is that when you do your comedy, you are like this all the time, but then you'll do something very cutting, you're very good at cutting, but you're the nicest person. I'm sure that when you do that, do you go off and go, oh, do you think I hurt their feelings? Like,
I do that.
Yeah. Because you're very good with words, and you can do a put down quite well.
Well, I suppose so. I think for me, what I like to do when I'm being a bit mean is kind of trying to send up all the meanness in the world. Like, there's so much, you look at the tabloid press, or you look at those horrible people who go on trolling people online. And we talk about that as though that's a new thing. I think that's always existed. There's always been horrible people, unfortunately. And I think what I try and channel is sort of a spoof version of them, sort of being mean to people. And I do it in a context where we can laugh about it. And the person I deliver it to is encouraged to laugh. And I hope they know always that I am laughing about it. Really. I'm doing it in a way that's supposed to be
and you
a bit of fun.
It's quite deadpan as well. It's a talent.
Well, that's nice of you to say. I suppose people, yes, I just sort of quite enjoy that. Like I said, that playing with status and stuff. And if people know you're just having a laugh, it's a really nice way of, I think, like a lot of humour, you basically, it's play, isn't it? And you go, are we okay to have this? Are we okay to do this kind of silliness? And I think if someone kind of is open to that as well, it's a lovely connection then. And you go, oh, yes, we're just human beings. And all that horribleness and all the meanness in the world is outside. And that's not us, we're connected.
So you grew up feeling like a weirdo and thought, I'm going to, as your armour, sort of make a joke of it? Or...
I think so, yeah. I always knew I was different. And I always lay at the feet of being gay and stuff. But I don't know if that's entirely it, really. I think I'm probably just a bit weird.
You're not weird.
But no, like different, always different.
Yeah.
Different to the other kids at school. Like, I didn't really have friends. Particularly at primary school, I didn't have friends, really. Not until I got a bit older. Didn't like primary school.
Because at primary school, your friends are lads that are playing football, right? And then that's what the boys do. And
I didn't know quite where I fitted, and it's all very kind of like, it's quite simplistic. And I never felt like I never felt like I fit in really, or wanted to play with them either. And I never just go and play a game. Like, I don't want to play. I want to play on my terms, not on when you tell me it's playtime.
Yeah, because you grew up in the late 80s, right?
Yes, late 80s, early 90s. Yeah. I was at primary school,
Yeah.
And I suppose I just sort of learned that being funny was a way to be myself, I suppose, and to gain acceptance, that kind of classic thing. Yeah. But secondary school was a very ordinary comprehensive school.
In Chislehurst,
yes, Bron, you're very good.
Kent boy.
Yeah, what?
And now you're in Bromley.
Bromley.
And they talk like that.
Sometimes.
But there was you with your posh voice.
Being different, weird. And I think I had a realisation where I went, you can either be very in your own, you can either sort of hide any differences you have or any kind of insecurities you have, or you can embrace them and run with them and actually add extra ones and weird ones. And so I sort of did that, really. And actually I found I was much more accepted for being like that than I was.
Because you're being yourself.
Yeah.
So you had the posh voice and you hadn't come out, but when did the fashion happen?
Oh, well, I always loved suits. I was always obsessed with suits. And my parents would always be like, can't you just wear something normal? I was like, I remember going to a wedding once and they just wanted me and my brother to wear the same things. And then we were walking around Woolworths and in the Ladybird collection they had a blazer that was in my size. And I begged my mum to have that. And so she bought it for me.
How old were you?
About 7.
Right.
And so I got to wear a blazer like a grown-up. And I
think you were really chuffed with that, were you?
Delighted, over the moon.
Amazing.
And always loved wearing suits. Didn't want to wear... Like, growing up, people wore, like, a Ralph shirt and untucked.
Still do.
Ralph shirt, untucked over a pair of Levi's.
My sons wear that.
Do they? Is that come back?
Yeah, and I can't afford it.
Well, that was the thing, and kickers, that was always the shoes.
Yes.
And my mum and dad went. And they were like, what? We're not going to pay that for a shirt. And, like, all the other kids' schools had, like... had that stuff. Or they had the knockoffs from the market.
80s were like neon and really dodgy shit.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't... Yes, so I was a bit after that.
Yeah. Of course you had. That was mine.
No. I didn't mean it like that. But, hypercolour T-shirts, etc.
Oh, yeah, I remember them. Yeah.
How lovely clothing, which also describes your body temperature.
So who did you see? Did you see anybody that used to wear suits and thought, oh, God, they look great?
I think probably... I mean, my dad would always wear a suit to work. And I suppose you look up to your dad, don't you? Can't help but want to be like him. And then I think I just always I liked people wearing suits. I liked sort of understanding how different bits of fashion came together in terms of men's. I don't know why it's men's tailoring, but I always liked that sort of structure.
Yeah.
And then even in my 20s, I still felt a sort of shame, because as a teenager, being like, why would you wear a suit? Why you dressed like that? And when I was in the sixth form, when you could choose your own clothes, obviously I went far too much the other way.
Did you?
Wear like bow ties.
Did you?
Yeah, and because
it kind of hasn't ended. I mean, I haven't seen you in a bow tie.
Well, then people would be like, oh, and then somebody would be like, oh, I mean, you're gonna dress like that, are you? Like there'd be like, it wasn't like accepting like, oh, this person's dressed like that, this person's dressed like that. How lovely we're all in the world. It was like there was still a sense of like, oh, you're a bit different, aren't you? Like subtly. And so I think I then buried it a bit when I started doing stand-up. I just wore a plain suit and a plain shirt. And then...
with slick back hair, did you say?
No, I'd lost my hair by then.
Okay.
I was starting...
How old are we talking now?
21.
So you won awards at 22 or something, right?
Yeah, 21, 22, yeah.
Yeah, so
I did have that. I was brushing it forward by that point.
So when did you start?
Stand-up?
Yeah.
21, I think.
So like literally a year later you were winning Best Comedian awards in Edinburgh and stuff?
Yes.
That's awesome.
It was nice, but...
people would do stand-up for years.
Well, they were newcomer awards, but they were...
Even so.
It was nice. It was very nice to have that validation, and I suppose what they liked about it was that I was someone different and was an established seemingly an established persona. But in truth, it was actually quite... I don't know if it made it any easier in a way, because it then meant I turn up at gigs and people were like, well, you won all these awards, come on then.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, I was rubbish because I'd only been going a year.
No, you were.
And
because you did the Palladium last year.
That was
amazing.
I think it's Frank Skinner who says you do it for 10 years and then you start getting good. So I suppose that's what happened with me, really. And
so how long you been doing it now?
15 years.
Right.
I think. Yeah, 15 years.
So you're 5 years into the good craft now. That's great.
In theory. But then you still feel like, oh, God,
Oh,
what
no,
am I
but
doing?
that's it. Of course, I mean, that'll probably never go away. You hear comedians that have been doing it for years and years and years.
Yeah.
That, like, so I can't remember what comedian it is, but apparently they're sick before they go on.
Oh, yeah, some people are like that. I have to sort of, like, distract myself. So I'm like, what? There's a gig. I don't care. I don't know there's a gig on. What? Oh, maybe I'll walk out. Maybe, you know.
Yeah, a couple of sambucas, gone. No, that was last night.
That was last night. I had one sambuca. Other people were having lots of sambucas. I had one. And then I went to bed earlier than everybody else.
Yeah, I did.
I could hear everybody talking in my room. Not everyone talking in my room. From my room, I could hear them talking.
Yeah. So you did Edinburgh. I've heard comedians that have done Edinburgh for like 10 years. And
I did 10 years.
But they don't even get an audience. Like you were...
Well, I did it... Yeah, I did it for 6 years, then I had a break, and then I came back and I felt a lot more competent, a lot more like I knew myself. But you go through... I think with like when you're learning anything, you go through waves, I think. And sometimes you think like, yeah, I know what I'm doing, I'm great. And then other days like, I do not know what I'm doing. This is stupid. I am stupid.
So was there a time when you went on stage and it was so brilliant and you were like, I actually think I'm fucking quite good at this now?
There would be like one of those, and then there would be another one that was terrible. And you'd go, oh God, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so you're constantly in this set. And that was for sort of 10 years before. And as well, this sort of shame thing, which I think is so powerful, so pernicious, made me not want to reach out to other people about that. So I never talked to other people in Edinburgh, for example, about that, because I just assumed everybody was having a great time.
Yeah.
So everybody like puts on their poster,
Yeah.
But that was a real learning experience for me. And...
So then, what did you talk to anyone? Do you talk to anyone?
So then, and then as I got older, there were more people coming into it. Because a lot of people I started out with, like, I did win those awards, but then they became much more successful. So I didn't really see them very much. And then there was
who did you start out with? Then?
So I started out in those competitions, people like Sarah Millican and Kevin Bridges.
Sarah Millican you supported.
Who I supported a few years ago. And Sarah's been such a good friend to me.
Australia and New Zealand?
I did Australia and New Zealand with her, and I did around the UK. She's been an amazing friend to me. So generous. But yeah, it was kind of...
Michael McIntyre is where you've supported?
I've done a few support gigs for Michael McIntyre, yes. A few people. I mean, it's a good learning curve doing support. I mean, Sarah's crowd, they were really lovely, especially because they kind of... But you have to go out and sort of go... Well, she'd do it in a very nice way. She would go out and say, welcome to my show. I've got a support act I'm going to bring on now. I hope you enjoy them. And then they'd come out, and Ollie's waving at us through them. And then, go away, Ollie! And then she'd bring me on, and then I'd do my bit. But you have to sort of have that sense of mind, like, they're not here to see me, so they might hate me. But you just have to, you learn to look like, and therefore have a good time on stage.
So is it better when you come out and they're there to see you? So like at the Palladium, for instance.
It's much more straightforward. I think. It's a much more straightforward transaction.
So you think they like my stuff, so this is going to be...
But if you're me, and I think most other comedians, although I don't know, but for me, I know that I still go, yeah, but what if they made a mistake? Or they've gone, well, we'll go and see what he's like live. I don't know. And so you still carry with you those early gigs when you walked out and people be like, what? What are you talking about? What's this? What's that? And when I started out, of course, I didn't know myself as a person. So, you walk out on stage and and you're like, I'm not sure about myself as a person. And sometimes the public can be a little bit like, they don't know what they are as a person. I feel insecure about that.
Really?
And I think they mirror your insecurity and they don't like it, and then that's when they can seem quite hostile.
But now it does seem that you know who you are as a person.
Yeah, so then
you've definitely got a style.
Well, I've got some outfits.
I mean, it's amazing. You shout and you put down, and then you're like really sweet, and you talk about a lot of observational things, like living with your parents, for instance. So you talk about that a lot.
Yes.
What's that like?
What, sort of talking about
talking about living with your parents, like it's...
Well, again, I suppose it's one of those things I should be ashamed of, but stand-up has taught me to reverse.
Anyone that hasn't seen your show, that I say, Tom, lives with his parents, they're like, he does? What do you mean lives with his parents? Like, this is
show's
like
on 4 at the moment, I think. You can still watch
you can watch it. Why do you still live with your parents?
Well, I did move out, and I lived away around London for about 10 years. I never went to university, as I say. And then I was going through a real it was kind of a crisis point of like, I don't know if I can do this anymore, this job, I don't know if this is working out. And I decided I was going to move back to my parents, focus on my work, and and save money to try and sort of give myself some money to have a deposit to try and buy a place or sort of get myself together for that. And so that's what I did when I was about 30. And I get on well with my parents, and they are different to me than that. And then I sort of realised, well, actually, again, if I was a solicitor, it would be ungainly to live at home with your parents. But I sort of thought, well, I'll just talk about it.
And it gives you loads of material.
Well, it seems to, yeah.
I think you quite like it, though.
And I do like it, yeah. I like the familial security of it, actually, as well.
Because you spend a lot of time in hotels, like touring around the country. And
as a stand-up, particularly when you're doing gigs, you travel on your own, you go to a hotel on your own, you go to a gig on your own, you stand on stage on your own. It's very easy to have a very lonely experience, I found. And I had flatmates who, beforehand, who had normal jobs, so I'd leave before they got home, and I'd get back when they were in bed, and I'd get up after they'd gone out to work again. So it would be difficult to see people. And again, I'm not very good at reaching out, and sort of even having friends. I'm not very good at going, oh, they're my friend, I can talk to them, or they're my friend, I can... some people are like...
Why?
Oh,
Why is that?
I don't know. I must have just felt like... I think it goes back to primary school, probably.
And where you had to kind of protect yourself, so you felt like, I've got to deal with this.
When it really fit in, I think because I was weird, the other kids didn't like me. So I think that you carry that with you, don't you?
And if you reach out, you're showing weakness.
Yes, it's such a vulnerability, isn't it? Yeah.
Have you ever reached out to anyone?
What, as a friend?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, now I have lovely friends. I'm very lucky.
Susie, another comedian,
Susie
is one of your
is a very good friend of mine. She's been brilliant.
Who probably understands it.
Yes, and Susie was one of the people who, in that sort of time when I took a break from Edinburgh and then moved back to my parents, she was one of the people who was like, oh, like, I don't know, sort of really represented to me that period of, there are nice people out there, there are people to relate to out there, people to get you. And that was, we lived together in Edinburgh. And, she's been very, and we did a tour together where we did one half each, and we have a podcast together ourselves. So, but that's those nice, and Susie's really good at going like, no, it's okay. Like, and she's like, speak to these people, have friends, people are nice.
Yeah.
Like, no, people are terrible.
Lovely.
No one's. So.
But it was funny because we were talking about, I think probably being famous. You've probably found out now that. Everyone wants to talk to you. Everyone wants a piece of you. And at some point, like when you shut that hotel door or the door of your bedroom at your mum and dad's house or whatever, it's nice to switch off and not talk to anyone. And I was saying that in my job, I have to talk to everyone all the time and keep everyone happy and blah, blah, blah. So when I go on holiday, I don't want to talk to fucking anybody.
No, I like a quiet holiday.
And Bob and Linda who come over and go, hi, are you from Kent? Like, do you want to go to dinner? This is my worst fear.
Oh, yeah.
And that you were saying the same, that when you go away, I
like to be quiet. I mean, if people say hello, I'm always very flattered. But I do like that. I suppose there's probably a word for it. Is it mindfulness? I don't know.
Yeah.
But where you just, where I just like sitting on a beach and doing nothing, and the options are you can go into the sea, you can fall asleep again, or you can read a bit more of your book.
Yeah.
And there's nothing, and I don't take my phone with me to the beach, and just that is really healing for me. And if I go with like a good friend or my mum, just to like to talk about stuff is just nice. Just like talk idly about things, and then that's interesting. And then
you need to switch off.
Yeah.
Not many people switch off enough.
It's so hard to switch off,
It is so hard to switch off, but you have to do something to switch off, like go for a walk or, like you say, turn your phone off or go out with friends, get absolutely hammered with all your workmates.
Yeah. Whatever it is, yeah. Well, I think that's the thing, isn't it? Like we do, I think as a society, we are very boozy because how else do you switch off other than to...
Well, nowadays, though, you talk to children and they're drinking less.
Oh, that's true,
and they're going to the gym more or, doing things. It's
thing.
very good. It's very good. They might be doing weed a little bit more than, I don't know.
Oh, do they?
Yeah,
is that the thing now?
Yeah, that's the thing. So you go on holiday with your mum?
Yeah, sometimes.
That's
sometimes.
lovely.
That is nice.
You're very close. Just you and your mum, or does your dad come along?
Dad doesn't want to come. He doesn't like to go. I'd pay for him to come with us, but...
Why doesn't he want to come?
He doesn't like to travel. He does like to travel when he gets... I don't know.
I do love the way you paint your parents.
I know.
It's adorable.
I talked about them on Jonathan Ross about how... And it was true. I was doing a tour show in Cornwall and I booked a really nice hotel. And my tour manager... Oh, yeah. I was going to go with some friends. They then, at the last minute, couldn't... They were going to drive me down there and we were going to still stay in a nice hotel while I was doing these shows. They couldn't do it. So I said to Mum and Dad, do you want to come? Mum loved it. It was such a nice hotel. Dad...
Why?
So much.
What?
I don't know. I think it's just a bit trendy.
Yeah.
You had the nicest room.
Is he quite old-fashioned?
Yeah, he was born during the Blitz.
Yeah.
Like, he's 78 years old, bless him. But we've got rooms next to each other, looking out over the beach and then the ocean beyond.
See, what you like and what your dad likes are probably quite different.
I think as well, yeah, he likes things on his terms. So I don't think he likes it when it's like, hey, do whatever you like.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And what were their jobs when you were...
Dad was a coach driver, and Mum worked in the Army and Navy, the shop, not the military branches. It's part of the House of Fraser, and so they have very.
So did you go along with her and see the fashion?
First floor fashions and the Army and Navy. It was very like Liz Claiborne, where Mum used to work. It was very shoulder padded.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I don't think you remember all that.
No, not what shoulder pads and stuff. Yeah, I do remember people having big coats.
Yeah,
big coats.
Yeah.
Big
anyone that didn't grow up in the 80s, I think they've really... Everything's changed so much since the 80s with the internet and social media, fashion, everything.
Yeah, I
really feel like we had a good time.
Oh, that's interesting.
Life seemed simpler then.
I mean, that is the classic thing, isn't it? That one always says. I suppose, I don't know. I suppose young people just, like all of us, just sort of muddle through, don't they? Just as best they can, as we all do. But I suppose the internet, probably has changed a lot of things. I mean, I think part of me thinks like, when I felt like more connected to people who had the same interests as me as a teenager.
Maybe, yeah.
You know, and because you'd have to go to the library if you want to look up about a playwright or something. Whereas now you just go, just look them up now. I'll just download their
and also growing up and knowing you were gay and maybe not knowing anyone else who was gay, there was probably no one to talk to.
There was absolutely no one to talk to.
Yeah, and now with the internet, you could possibly look up a group or something.
I think potentially, or I think a lot of schools do a lot of positive work with.
And that must have been quite hard. When did you? Like you said, you came out quite late.
Well, I think at school, when I was at school, it was Section 28, so teachers weren't allowed to talk about it. There was no...
What, Section 28?
Was, it was a thing brought in by Thatcher, which banned the promotion of homosexuality.
Are you serious?
So it meant that teachers could be sacked if they said, hey, if you're gay, it's fine.
I've never heard of this.
Oh, really? It was a big thing.
That's horrendous.
So I think that had a bearing on it.
Yeah, I mean, God, I didn't even know that was a thing. That's gone now.
Yeah,
obviously.
That went in the late 90s.
Right. And who got rid of that?
Blair.
Right, good.
And
so teachers couldn't talk about it. So you then felt like you couldn't.
There were no gay people in our street social circle.
Well, they were hiding probably because of that prejudice.
Yeah, probably. Or they. So there was not really many people on the television, really. And when you think about it, people like Julian Clary was allowed to be on the television. Then he said one thing that was too outrageous, and then he was like not
gone. Yeah,
and then so a lot of people.
It wasn't even that outrageous. I think
by today's standards, I don't
Norman
think people would be.
Lamont.
I don't know how people would react to it. I'm sure there are other comedians who do.
Oh my God! I'm sure Jimmy Carr said some worse stuff.
I mean, potentially.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, what have you? That's horrendous that happened to him.
Yeah,
he came back though.
He did come out. I think he's doing fine.
Yeah.
But it was sort of like when you think about squeaky chair, that was sort of all a bit negative, right? But yeah, sorry.
So then how did you come out, if you don't mind talking about that?
No, I don't mind. So what happened? Well, I think I got to a point where starting to do stand-up felt like I'd sort of let a pressure cooker off,
Oh, yeah.
And I was starting to go like, I can talk about things and express myself. Yeah, literally. And at that point, it felt very like, let's not talk about this, I'll talk about that. And it felt very engaging, very stimulating. And I was like, why am I hiding things? Why am I hiding myself? And I didn't come out in a big way. I just sort of started talking about guys I liked.
Yeah,
with
brilliant.
My friends.
So it's like, this is normal.
But then I had to come out to my mum. And I got to my mum and then...
that was okay though, because you're close to your mum, right?
Yeah, it was fine. I think it was still... It still felt weird.
How do you say it?
Well, just walking along the road. And we went to see a Rufus Wainwright concert. I took her to, which I really like Rufus Wainwright. And then I was like, we'll walk down, maybe when we walk down from the tube down to the station to go back, I'll talk to them. It's like, well, why don't we get the tube this way? And then we can just get the tube all the way to the station. I was
so you planned it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I think we should get off here and walk a bit. And it's like, no, we'll just get off. No, that seems daft. And I was like, I'm not going to come out on a crowded Central Line tube. People would have been so angry as well back then. They would have been so, staring.
What year was this?
2005.
Right.
2004, 5.
I love it when you do your mum's and dad's voice.
Oh. But then Mum said, "Oh, don't tell your dad." I wouldn't tell your dad. She said, "I wouldn't tell your dad," or something, because he's a bit over it. But then, so I waited. And when I did tell him, he was fine.
Yeah.
So it's sort of weird, but
yeah. And your brother? Did you tell your brother?
Yeah, and he was
bothered.
Not bothered.
Yeah. Oh, known. Whatever.
Yeah, not really bothered.
That's lovely.
But
some people have horrendous stories.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it's really horrible. Yeah. I mean, like, hopefully we'll get to a point where it's fucking gives a shit.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to even come out.
Well, I think that was one of the reasons I didn't come out for a long time, because I was like, it's my thing. Why does everybody else need to know?
Yeah.
Because you just sort of feel like everything's embarrassing, isn't it? But then you sort of have to go through this thing, and I think that's why people are always like, why does he have to keep talking about being gay all the time on stage? Why is that the only thing he talks about on panel shows? It's like, well, it's not the only thing. And also it's like, well, because you made it such a big deal.
Yeah.
In the first place.
I like cock.
That's what I should have just said.
Yeah. That's what I say.
That's, so...
We'll go in a minute. We're going to do thingy at 25.
We've got to go do this thing we're doing.
Oh, we're going to do this thing we're doing. I just want to go back to the lonely thing, like when you're on tour and you're back in the hotel room on your own.
Oh, yeah.
You maybe turn the telly on and you're in bed and, maybe make a cup of tea, I don't know, open the bar. You got your phone.
Yeah.
Sort of like, do you get lonely then?
Yeah. Sometimes.
Because you travel most places alone, don't you?
Well, I have a tour manager now when I'm on tour, so that's a bit nicer.
But TV shows, for instance, you will turn up where some people have like 15 people. You will be alone.
Sometimes, yes, it is a bit like that. I quite like being on my own. Maybe I'm just a bit of a martyr, though. But I quite like my own. I think the thing is, a bit like you say about the woman coming up to you on the Sun Lounger.
Yeah.
I like being on my own. What do I like? But I like being around people, but I'm always scared if I'm around other people too much, I'll end up being sucked into their plans and being like, why am I rushing around to do that thing? I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I want to do my thing. So I suppose what I like is being totally solitary and then...
being your own boss, then you can do
your own boss, and then dipping into the social thing.
Yeah.
My dream would be to live in a flat where I can hear the noise and bustle below, but I'm high enough above it that it doesn't bother me.
So we were talking about this earlier. You're also, another dream is that you have a balcony, right?
Yes.
So the balcony has that, you can hear the hustle and bustle.
Yes.
And you think you might want to see the sea?
Yes, maybe, but that's not...
Not sure?
A view would be nice.
Yeah, because you kind of want to be... This is why you haven't bought a place yet, right? And still live with mum and dad because it's easy. But you don't know whether you want to be in the country by the sea or you don't know if you want to be in the central city. It's tough.
I know.
Yeah. How long do you think it's going to take you to make this? It's been a while. We've been talking about this a while.
It is, since I've known you. So that's, 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm very indecisive.
You don't know what you're looking for. That's what it is. That's the thing for life.
But I think in life I'm very indecisive. I take ages over these massive life things. And I make decisions. People are like, see, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, I know.
What's that? You're not a Libra, are you?
No, Gemini.
I'm a Gemini.
Oh,
the worst too. I'm really good at making decisions. Like, I go.
Oh, really? Yeah. If I make a decision straight away, I'll be fine. I get talked out of it, and then people are like, there's been places I like, and then my mum and dad are like, you sure you like that one? Because it's got...
I'm like that. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. So you like listening to other people's opinions.
Yeah, it was like, because it's like this big thing, isn't it, buying a place?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Because it's your first home.
And because I spent all this time saving. Like, when I first got a job as a waiter in my dad's golf club, where it was £4 an hour, and sometimes you'd get around about £5 to £6 in tips. So do the math. 6 hours of £4, £24, and then so I get paid.
So you've now got like £100
£30 a day. So I managed to save. My dad was like, "Don't spend that money; you might need it."
Oh,
so I was working this shit job,
yeah,
which I hated, and then not ever enjoying spending the money because Dad was like, "Save it; you might need a car." Well, I've got enough money to buy a car. My dad even now would be like, "You don't need a car."
Oh, that's a lot. You don't need a car, though, do you? You get driven everywhere, darling.
Well, I get a lot of Ubers, but
yeah, a car's a waste of money if you don't really need.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't imagine you in a Ferrari yet.
No.
Would it be a Ferrari? It wouldn't be a Ferrari. What would you go for?
Of course, first car. No, never had any insurance before.
Yeah.
Ferrari, please.
Yeah.
I would crash it straight away. I cannot park. You can't have a Ferrari and not be able to park.
So you said a little while ago, this is in a private conversation, so you can hit me and I can take it out if you do
Yes.
You said you don't really want to go and move somewhere where you're rattling around on your own.
Yes.
So is it more that you're going to wait till you've found the one that you then might buy a little house?
Oh, I love this because this is my psyche. Is I go, I don't want to buy a place. You potentially there's a bit of that. Like I don't want to buy a place because like I'm just going to buy it on my own. That's a bit lonely. But I'm not going to meet somebody because I live at home with my mum and dad. You can't meet someone and be like, oh, do you want to come back to mine, which is my mum and dad's house. So therefore you can never meet anyone, and then. So you never buy anywhere, so you never meet anyone, so you never buy anywhere.
And soon you'll be like 66. You'll be like, shit.
Yeah, no one will want to date me then. I mean, I'm irritating now. Imagine what I'm going to be like.
And what are you doing about trying to find a date? You don't
Nothing.
do the
Nothing.
The old Tinders?
No.
Is that because it's hard? Because you know that you're not sure if they'll be dating you because on the TV and shit.
Well, that's flattering. You think that people would be bothered. I think I probably put people off. And I think, I don't know, it's sort of weird that online dating, I think I did, I know I did try it. And I did meet some really nice people. But I think that, I did notice that people started to be like, are you actually, it sounds very grand of me. But if they did recognise me, they'd say, are you really him? Which is nice, but at the same time you sort of, again, you feel like you're explaining yourself all the time.
Yeah. Yes, so, I am. I just want to get laid. Come over.
I can't even say that.
That's so not your style.
Well,
you'd be going to drink champagne in the Savoy first, right?
I don't know about that. I don't know what I am.
No, but, you've got this grandiose, that's not the word.
It's a defence.
Yeah, because like you'd be quite happy to go and have a pint down
be much happy to
local, wouldn't you?
Well,
and just if anyone's listening, Chunky and Kind is his type. Chunky and Kind.
But I say that, but actually somebody will come along who's not that.
Yeah, any hole's a girl, right? It's not even a hole. That doesn't apply to either of us.
Always saying it like it is. That's wrong.
Thank you so much for listening.
Oh my God, I've really enjoyed it.
I think we've been going like...
You should be a therapist.
What, really?
And then secretly tape your clients come up as a podcast.
It's just a nice little chat.
It's a lovely chat.
Everyone's learnt a little bit more about you.
I'm sorry.
I didn't really know what I was going to ask you. I had questions I didn't even
forever,
look.
Don't I? Talk forever.
Loved it. You're lovely.
Well, you are too. Thank you for having me.
We've got to crack on.
Yeah, we got to get back to work.
Yeah, that's him doing my accent.
No, it's not. That's him doing one of
He does do that. Love you lots.
Love you too.
Thank you.
Bye. 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 Bye.
Thank you, Tom Allen. When Tom says, "Go away, Ollie," he's referring to the exec producer who popped into the room at the TV show we were working on. He doesn't mean it, they're thick as thieves. Tom also has a podcast called Like-Minded Friends with his mate Susie. Friends and family are what are most important. Look after yourselves and each other. That's it for now. Love you for listening, and don't forget to show love. Thank you to Ollie Travers and Danny Wright for their great music, and Alex McCardle for the edit. Please follow us at Show Love UK on social media, and feel free to spread the love by telling your friends. Thank you.
Procrastination, self-stimulation, instant gratification. I'm self-medicating, therapists recommending more meditating, wasted education. I need more admiration, and I don't wanna bother with today. I pretty much missed it anyway. Might as well stay. I don't wanna bother with today. I pretty much missed it anyway. Might as well stay. I'm staying. Come down with me. Repeat it on channel 3. I watch it 'cause I'm feeling hungry. Try and shift the mood, so I order Chinese food. Said fuck it, just keep the change, dude. Finance situation, spent on dedication. Dreams of Wembley Stadium and my name carved in the pavement. And I don't wanna